Hi everyone and welcome to another video. I can't believe I actually have time again. Logan is in daycare, Brooke is taking a really good nap, so I have time to vlog. And I'm so happy about that because I just want to get back into the swing of things and upload regularly and watch regularly. So if you have any video suggestions that you think I should do, leave it in the comments down below. But for this video, I want to talk to you guys about our breastfeeding journey. I have quickly touched on it during my 1 week and 2 week mommy and baby update. But there's a whole lot of stories on how we started and everything like that. So here we go. As soon as Brooke was born, she was put on my chest and she started rooting within like 5 minutes. And I was shocked because I was like about to deliver the placenta and I still need to be stitched up. So I was like, oh no, baby girl, you have to wait. And Rebecca like looks around my leg and she's like, no, you can. It will only help you deliver the placenta and it will take your mind off me stitching you up. So just go. And I nursed her for about an hour, 30 minutes on each side. And then they had to weigh her and we realized that she was hypoglycemic and she was fed 5 cc's of formula by finger feeding right off the bat because she just needed that energy. And I was really disappointed about that because I was like sitting in my bed and you know I was all ready to like nurse her like around the clock, that's what I had to do. And then the nurse came sitting next to me and finger feeding her and I'm like, formula. I'm like, oh well. Because I wasn't making, obviously, I was just making teeny tiny little drops. I wasn't making 5 cc's at all. And then she was admitted into the NICU, and the NICU works on a schedule for feeding. So she was fed every 3 hours, like 6, 9, 12, and 3. And that's normal because obviously there's a lot of teeny little kids there that don't know how to communicate hunger, or they would know, but they don't have the energy to do that. And so everyone just gets put on the same schedule. Everyone goes on a 3, 6, 9, 12 schedule. And so obviously I missed that 6 o'clock window. I was still in the shower trying to get ready and everything like that. And at 9 they let me come in and nurse her because basically you're allowed to like just take over, which is what I did. I just got in there and I would always like unhook all the machines from her, and they have to show me one, how they want me nurse. And I would like change her diaper, weigh her, latch her on, weigh her again after she let go, latch her on the other boob, weigh her again, and whatever she wasn't taking in that she needed to, according to the pediatrician, we would finger feed her with formula or with the breast milk that I pumped. Because as soon as I had that 9 o'clock feeding, she took 5 from me and she needed 5 cc's of formula. And I knew that as soon as the clock turned 12, she was supposed to take 20 instead of 10, which is a lot. And I really didn't support that, but at the same time they explained to me that that's how much she needed in order to deal with the hypoglycemic. So yeah, I just had to deal with that. So as soon as I got back to my room after her 9 o'clock feeding, I asked for a breast pump because basically the NICU said that they didn't want to see me during the night. They're like, you just lay and deliver the baby, you just go take your night rest and we'll give her formula, and then tomorrow morning you're well rested and she has a lot of energy to latch on again. And as much as I didn't think that, you know, finger feeding her for like 3 times was gonna mess up our breastfeeding relationship, I didn't want to go like 12 hours without stimulating my breast within the first 24 hours of breastfeeding. So I asked for a hospital pump and I just pumped every 3 hours. So instead of going to the NICU to have her latched on, I just pumped. And whatever I pumped, I did bring to the NICU. So even though they didn't want to see me, I took like, I don't know, I like say I pumped at like 3, I think I brought some of the milk at 6. So she could have a full feeding of my breast milk at 6. Or it wasn't really a full feeding, but it was like whatever I had of breast milk. And then I latched her on again. And basically what I did every single feeding is I would go half hour before her feeding, change her diaper, get her weighed, latch her on, weigh her again, latch her on, weigh her again, finger fed her with either breast milk or formula, whatever was left, because I didn't make that much, especially because she needed that big of amount of feedings according to the pediatrician. And then I would, like, as soon as she was done with the feeding, I would go back to my room and pump for 10 minutes. It was exhausting, but it was worth it because as soon as we were discharged from the hospital, I could feel my milk come in on Sunday afternoon, so about 2 days after I gave birth. And I talked it over with the midwife and the clowns that were both here while we got, like, once we got home, and they were all like, no, stop weighing her before and during and after every feeding and supplementing her. She needs to just take whatever she needs and she'll let you know, you know. Which I was really happy about, even though that was against the hospital's advice. They were like, no matter what everyone tells you, she needs to take 30 to 40 cc's every feeding. And I was like, sorry, that's a lot. She still needs to turn 3 days old. She was only 2 days old, so a breastfeeding baby from 2 days old does not take that much. So I wasn't really too worried about that. And I agreed with my midwife. And on Monday, my milk was definitely in, and I had a lot. Like, I was in course with Logan, but this was a whole different ballgame. Like, I was Pamela Anderson with watermelons. It was really bad. And I wish I took a picture of it, like, with me with my clothes on, by the way. Because it was really, really redonk-a-donk. And I was really happy about that because with Logan I had an undersupply and it took us weeks and weeks. And even continuously medicating myself with, I think it's called domperidone, in order to keep my supply semi-regular for him. And then I went back to work and it was even worse. And it was always such a struggle to keep my supply up with his needs. But I was really upset, oh my god, I'm making so much, I'm making too much. And at some point, I think on Tuesday or so, we realized that she was having a really, that I was like getting like cracked nipples from it, because she couldn't latch on properly because my breasts were so filled up. She couldn't like get a good latch. So I started pumping before every feeding. Like if she was supposed to be on my left, I drained some of that milk out and then latched her on. And then I would have to like put a towel on my other boob because it was like basically gushing out of that side. And I think that worked for about 24 hours, and then she didn't gain any weight. So they were like, she's still getting a lot of formula. So on Wednesday we decided to let me completely drain myself. So she was 5 years old. I completely pumped until there was basically nothing coming out anymore. And I had 240 cc's, and she was supposed to take like, I don't know, 50 or 60. So I had a lot of feeding, like extra milk. So it was no wonder she couldn't get to the fat milk, to the hind milk. And once I pumped everything out, we just gave her like the last, I think it was almost 80 though. Something like that. 80 cc's of like the fat breast milk. And she was a completely different baby after that. Oh no, we did it on Thursday, because on Wednesday it was very lethargic. And the midwife or the Kraamter was really concerned with her alertness. She was like, she's not even alert to drink. We have to like really wake her up, and then she would like nurse for like 5 minutes and would fall back asleep. So on Thursday I completely pumped myself dry, basically pumped myself dry, and we gave her 80 cc's of the hind milk, and she was a completely different baby. And on Friday she actually gained 60 grams, and she was like, oh well, maybe we can like just live feed again, not have to bottle feed her anymore. And then on Saturday she lost all that weight again, or like 55 of that, so she only gained 5 in 2 days. And at that point it's like, I'm just gonna go ahead and bottle feed her once a day with the hind milk, just making sure about that, because I was starting to get engorged again after that 24-hour relief. And that's what we have been doing until last Wednesday, so when she was 1.5 weeks old, and the nurse from the pediatrician's office came by and they weighed her, and she was up again. So I was like, okay, she is gaining weight with this weight. And I agreed with I discussed it with the nurse, like, do I still need to pump and give her that one bottle? And she's like, well, she's not back to her birth weight, but at the same time she is gaining weight normally at a normal rate, so you can try to not do that and just see how it goes. And I made another appointment for her to come this Wednesday, so in 2 more days, to weigh her again and see how she has been growing, or like monitor her growth a little bit better. Because if she would stay the same or even dropped a little bit, we know that she definitely needs that bottle. But I'm not engorged anymore, so I really feel like she's taking whatever she needs. And she right now doesn't even block feed anymore. She doesn't need to block feed, at least. Because that's what we did for a few days, because I was so engorged. We just put it on the left, changed the bum, put it back on the left. And that's what we did. The next feeding we did the right. And at some point I could tell that she was still like rooting after that, like after 2 times on the same breast. So I started doing 1-on-1, which for the last 4 or 5 days now. It has been working really, really well. So right now she nurses about every 2 to 3 hours. She usually takes about 3-hour gaps, but sometimes she comes about a half hour to an hour earlier. We are feeding on demand, so I'm just latching on whenever she's hungry. And during the night she can take 4-hour stretches, but she doesn't always do it. Sometimes she's 3.5, sometimes 2.5. Like she just eats whenever she's hungry, basically. So yeah, that's it for our breastfeeding journey so far. I'll let you guys know in her 3-week update whether or not she has actually been gaining weight. I feel like she has, but I'm still a little bit insecure because with Logan I felt he was doing great until the midwife or the pediatrician's nurse came and she's like, nope, he's still the same. And then we changed the breastfeeding plan, and then a week later he was still the same. And then even after considering a lactation consultant, he was still the same weight at 4 weeks old. So I'm still have that anxiety, like, oh my god, please let her gain weight, because I don't want to go through this again. But at the same time, this is such a different journey. You just latch her on and she drinks away, and then you change her diaper and you latch her on again and she drinks away again. So yeah, I feel really comfortable about that. If you guys have any questions about this breastfeeding update or any other update I've done so far, leave it in the comments down below. The thumbs up this video if you liked it. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Make sure you also subscribe to our daily channel, because we do put up videos of Brooke and Logan every single day. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.